Hi everyone. Welcome to this update video about the visual novels I'm making. These last few weeks have gone differently than I thought they would, which isn't a bad thing. I'm learning to have more balance in my life. In the past, I was obsessing over making visual novels to the point where working on them was pretty much all I was doing with my free time. These last few weeks, I've been taking more time to myself, and I've been applying for work and just doing some other things with my life and my time. In the previous video, I mentioned that I'd like to make a living making visual novels. I don't know if I feel that way anymore. Me making a living by making visual novels is clearly unrealistic right now, and besides that, I like making visual novels for fun. Even if I could end up making visual novels for a living at some point in the future, putting a bunch of financial pressure on something I like to do for fun seems kind of burdensome. I just feel like I've been learning more about life these days. On to talking about the progress I've made these weeks, though. I mentioned in the previous video that I'd like A Castle on an Island to be long, but I didn't say how long. I'm planning on having it be around 600,000 words. 100,000 words for the common route, and 100,000 for each of the 5 heroines. I'm also planning on finishing all of the writing before I start working on other elements of the visual novel. I think finishing the writing for the whole project will help me understand the scope of the entire thing. So when I start working on other elements of the project, I'll be able to actually prioritize things properly. If something is only depicted in 1 or 2 scenes and isn't super significant, for example, I probably won't end up drawing it. Whereas when I was working on the visual novel before, I was I made like an 800 I made like an 8,000 word chunk game with all of the writing and all of the pictures and all of the music and art. Because the project that I had worked on before, that 8,000 word project, was so small in comparison to the scope of the larger game, I spent a lot of time working on stuff that, when it comes to the full scope of the game, were rather insignificant. And in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have made or spent the time in making. So I do think doing the writing first for the entire project and then filling it in with other assets like art and music is more of a proper way of doing it, in my opinion. Here's my writing progress right now. I've written the intro of 2,000 words. I've written Abby's intro of 6,000, Tina's intro of 6,000, Alicia's intro of 6,000, Adel's intro of 6,000, and I've written 5,000 words of Olivia's intro out of 6,000. Once I'm done Olivia's intro, I'm planning on doing the outro, which will be about 3,000 words, I think, and then I'll be at 3,500. I mean, not 3,500, 35,000 words. So then after that, I'll have 65,000 more words to do for the rest of the common route. And that bulk of the common route will mainly be Ian mingling more with the girls and starting to choose some of them over others depending on the player's choices. And depending on his choices on who he's spending time with, he'll get more choices to spend time with them and get to unlock their main routes. If you've ever played Katawa Shoujo, I'm like the way they construct their common route is like amazing. I don't even know how they do it. Um, but I'm aiming for something kind of similar to that. in that just making some different choices will lead you to just spending time with certain heroines. The way they do it in Katawa Shoujo is really well done. I really don't know how they did it. It just feels so natural. It feels like you're really in school and just deciding what you spend your time doing, and based on that you interact more and more with a certain group. It's really well done. But anyway, I'm trying to do something kind of like that. I probably won't do it as eloquently because they did it great. Um, but yeah, that's the idea, and it should be fun. Uh, it'll be nice getting into branching options. I think a little bit of like a healthy amount of branching choices makes for a fun visual novel experience. So that'll be fun when I get to that stage. I don't want to talk much about what happened in the scenes that I've written since the last video, but Adel discovered a secret of the castle, and Ian and Delivia and Abby explored that secret, which I think was interesting. There were also some intimate moments between Ian and some of the girls. Well, now we're reaching the end of the video, and I need to announce something. I'm shifting from putting most of my free time, like I used to be putting my free time towards making visual novels like exclusively, and I'm learning to live like kind of a more balanced life. And I'm just making visual novels for the love of it. Kind of like a hobby, you know. I mean, it is a hobby right now. Maybe in the future it'll be more than a hobby, but right now I'm comfortable with it being a hobby, you know. Um, and I'm also going to be writing a very long story, like I said, and not only that, but it's a story that's mainly slice of life romance, and slice of life romance stories don't focus much on complicated events, and they mainly focus on relatively simple events that are emotionally driven. So if I were to continue making update videos, it would mainly be me talking about plot points out of context, and they could potentially spoil the story, and they wouldn't really mean much out of context without, you know, because it's a slice of life romance story. Something might not sound actually moving or anything, or intriguing or emotional if I just said it out of context, you know what I mean? Um, so with all of that in mind, really, I'm pretty much just going to be closing the channel. I don't really plan on using it much anymore. Like, I'll still make videos talking about when a project is, like, done. Like, when I finish this project, uh, I'll, like, announce it and be like, hey, the project's done and you can pick it up on Steam or whatever. But, I don't really see me finishing this project anytime soon. And I'm honestly kind of just reclusive, and I have never really been that great at making update videos, and the fact that I would basically just be updating you guys on slice of life romance writing for 600,000 words. I think I'm just gonna close the channel, but I'll still like I said, when a project is like done, I'll like make a video talking to you guys about it and letting you know it's done. But I hope you guys understand. Um, I know it's April 1st. This isn't a joke video or anything, as I'm sure none of you were confused, but yeah. Well, I guess that's all there is to say. Take it easy, everyone.
こなたのやつが嘘つくために電話してきやがったわよ、まったく。司は今日誰かに嘘とかついた？珍しい。どんな？今の、嘘ついたってのが。わかりづら。無理に嘘つかなくてもいいんだからさ。